Back to the Blue Jays now for a minute. This is one of my favorite Blue Jay moments. I'm sure a lot of people agree with this. I was at in the press box that day when this happened. You got a chance to call this game. It's Game 5 of the ALDS Jays and Rangers, and let's listen to that, Vic.
1-1. Bautista drives it deep left field. Gone. Suddenly it is 6-3 for Toronto. The Blue Jays dugout has erupted as they greet Bautista at the edge of the track.
So, have you ever seen the place like that before? Have you ever seen a building like that before?
No. I'll tell you two funny stories if you want. So,
Yeah.
again, that's for ESPN Radio. Most people in Canada are like, why was Dan called that game? Like, people in Canada either watched the game on TV, U.S. national TV, or they heard Jerry Howarth call that home run on the radio. So I was doing the playoffs for ESPN Radio, and I think I was in Chicago the night before doing the Cardinals and Cubs, and my series ended. And I was in a taxi on my way back to the hotel, and my boss, John Martin, called me and he said, "What are you doing tomorrow?" And I said, "Well, I'm going to the Blue Jay game." I had bought tickets for my family, but if I was there, I was going to use one of the tickets. And he said, "Can you call the game?" He said, "ESPN took Dave, I think it was Dave Fleming, took Dave Fleming off the game. They needed him for a college football game on TV. We don't have an announcer. Can you do Game 5 tomorrow?" I said, "Hell yeah, I can do that game." So I flew home and got parachuted in just for Game 5 of that series. I had not done the first 4 games of that series because I was on the Cardinals and the Cubs. So I did the game with Rick Sutcliffe. Then the other thing, yes, it was the most intense sporting moment I've ever been at. That whole inning. I mean, it started in the top half of the inning, and you were there, so you know, when Russell Martin's throw hit Shin Soo Choo's bat,
Yes.
and a run scored, and they littered the field with bottles, which was terrible. But, there was a feeling of, well, nobody wants the Blue Jays to win. The U.S. TV networks don't want us to win. The umpires are out to get us.
Uh-huh.
None of which was true. It was that was the rule. They did the right thing. The run should have scored. But that moment when Bautista hit that home run, to me, was 22 years of emotion and frustration erupting out of Blue Jay fans. So that inning, top and bottom, was the most intense thing I was ever at. I had bought 4 tickets. I guess I had bought 4 tickets for the playoff series. So my mom and dad and 2 of my sons were at the game. And in the top half of the inning, I texted them and I said, "Do not leave the ballpark." I said, "I'm going to come get you. Like, there might be a riot outside," when all hell was breaking loose.
Yes.
And then after Bautista homered, after Bautista homered, I sent a text to all of them and I said, "We're good. I'll see you at home. So everything's going to be fine." So, that's another very, if people say to me, "What are your most, what are your top favorite moments from your career?" That's always in my top 3 or 4. And again, it was just a total fluke that I wound up on that game.